All right. We are back with a conversation with Henry Hassie where we're talking about politics and education today. And we'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, give us a call at 457-0601. This important subject that we are discussing, we'd like to hear from you on it. And we want to also say that we will be having a education seminar, a political education seminar that will be dealing with what we should know about our political system and what we should look in our leaders that we elect to represent us in this political system here. So join us on March 16 at 10 o'clock at the Tomanville Library.
I see, you talk about the Democrats and we talk about the Republicans. Let's look at the pros and cons. Gosh, I get a little bit, 10 years ago, I used to think I knew what a Democrat and Republican was. But nowadays, it seems like the lines are so blurry that you can almost, unfortunately, it's almost like you need a new party called the Labor Party. You need a party to say, okay, England has a Labor Party, and then they have like an elite party. They don't call it the elite party, the elite party. But they got this Labor Party. And you think labor, you're thinking about union workers, hourly workers, small business owners, and you're looking out for the little guy.
Right.
We don't really have that party now, it doesn't seem. I know the Democrats are supposed to, but like these free trade agreements, we got three, President Obama was trying to put in another free trade agreement called the Asian Free Trade Agreement. I call it NAFTA. You have NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. You have CAFTA, Central American Free Trade Agreement. And these free trade agreements are where all our jobs move south to Mexico and other countries out of America. We've heard in the news about Carrier Air Conditioning recently, Nabisco. Carrier Air Conditioning laid off 1,400 union jobs. 1,400, that'll kill a community. 1,400 $30 to $40 an hour jobs to go down to Mexico and hire these guys at $5 a week or $5 an hour or $5 a day or whatever they're paying them. And that's amazing savings for Carrier, but it doesn't help the American citizen.
And then I believe when these companies are making these decisions, they are not looking at the whole picture. They get a piece of the pie, and that piece of the pie may say that, hey, if I do this, I can bring more to the bottom line, and the stockholders or whoever the owners of the company, they will love me. But they don't see that actually they're really killing their own self because of the way that they're doing it.
Well, the consumers of your air conditioned products are your employees.
Right,
if they're strong union employees. One thing I applaud Ingalls Shipbuilding, that's a strong union. And the companies we get in Alabama, we've got to do a lot better because they are non-union companies, which means they pay very low wages. These low wages have got to come up. You're talking about minimum wage $15. They pay $15 when you get hired at some of these shipbuilding places in Alabama. That's an insult.
Right, yeah.
Whereas Ingalls pays $15, $30, $40 an hour for some of the same jobs you make $15 an hour over here.
Well, we talk about it all the time about living wages. And, of course, here in Alabama, it is hard to make a living wage. And it all ties in, if we're able to pay a living wage, then of course we got to be able to make a living wage. And somewhere along the road, somebody has figured out how to take the wealth or the money circulation away from what I call the working poor, to raising it up to the super rich. So in this country, trillions of dollars are now taken out of the hands and the pockets of the working poor people, and they're put up in the hands of rich people. And it's done just like we say. I can bring you more money to you yourself by making a bigger bottom line. Well, if I own the air conditioning people, that sounds good to me, but I'm not looking at the overall effect of what it's doing. I will become richer, but the people that's working for me is going to be poor, and I'll be rich, but they'll be poor.
Well, what people got to do is educate themselves. Like you said in those first four things, your intellect and your economics, you got to be educated on that. There's over 20 car plants that ship cars to America that are in Mexico. I even have the addresses. Over 20 car plants from Chrysler to Ford to Chevy, which is all the General Motors, to Honda, to you name it, they're making it into Mexico, and they shipping them back up to us at free trade, no taxes, and they sell them at the same price. You're making them for half the cost because you're losing all the labor,
Right.
and you bring them up here and you sell them for the same cost, so you make a profit for Wall Street. But the problem is you got two Democratic presidents that push the free trade agreements and one Republican.
Register to win an electric turkey fryer when you file your returns with H&H and pull the money lever to win additional cash. Get your money back fast now with H&H.
I see this all the time. Homeowners searching for mortgage refinancing. Hey guys, you need some help?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Follow me. Come on. If you're underwater and current on your payments, it's your best route to a better mortgage. See if you qualify at harp.gov.
H&H Financial Services in Mobile has over 20 years experience in accounting, bookkeeping, appraisals, real estate, and year-round tax preparations. Give them a call today at 251-438-1620 or visit them at 1560 St. Stephen's Road in Mobile. Let your money grow in our care at H&H Financial Services.
Join Robert Battles, Henry Hassib, and myself this Sunday at 5:30 in the morning for the next edition of Rise and Shine on Fox 10.
All right, we're back with a conversation with Henry Hassib here, and we're gonna just talk about another subject here for the next few minutes here that we feel that's very important because so many people are falling victim to this, and this is dealing with real estate and the foreclosure market. So many homes are coming on the market as foreclosed property because families are losing their home. And we want to just share some information with you on some of the things you may be able to do to prevent this. And we know life is up and down, that we're going to probably always have that market, but a lot of things we can correct if we got better information, a better knowledge of it. So we're talking here.
And Tom did acknowledge, Brother Hassib, want to say that the Brother Hassib is a broker. He has H&H Real Estate. If you're looking to sell your house or list your house, please consider H&H Real Estate. I go around the community and I see not enough H&H Real Estate signs, nor do I see enough of LaFleur Real Estate signs. So we got to start saying, okay, you come to H&H or LaFleur Realty for donations and whatnot to help out situations in the community, or you come to them when you have real estate problems or to save your homes. But when we're selling homes and buying homes, we got to use these guys so they be in a position to help out more. It's all about, and there's other real estate companies in the communities also, but if you're going to go to these community real estate companies to ask for donations and to ask for help assistance on this program or that program, you need to keep in mind that they don't make money by just giving charity. They make money by selling this property. I want to say that there's a real estate crisis. The people always say, and we get lied to on the regular, Hassib, about our economy doing good and everybody doing better. But I think what we have in this country is a lot of people have stopped looking for jobs, and we also have a lot of people who are underemployed.
So we are doing some crazy things ourselves before we even get to the things that's not shown in public.
Yeah, well, the video cameras, even businesses are so much sophisticated than they were 10, 20 years ago. And you see all these crazy shows where people are trying to do criminal acts, and it's like, there's cameras around.
Right. Well, I watch a picture that they call the dumb criminal or something like that. And these people they'll go and they steal something, then they see a camera, then they're amazed by the camera, and they give them a full profile of who they are with the camera.
And at that point, they should sit down and just wait for the
They should do.
Just sit down.
Things can be used for good purpose, and things also can be used for evil purposes.
I think the J. Edgar Hoovers and the people who refuse to allow anything to happen to Hillary, people go with both extremes. I think that's going to be the exception to the rule. But I think for the most part, to help out law enforcement, to help out, if you talk about people threatening to do harm to innocent people, it's not like it's military fighting military. There were rules of engagement. There's rules to fighting. There's rules to going to wars that's supposed to protect civilians. Geneva Convention had a lot of those rules out. If you violate the Articles of Geneva Convention, it was a war crime, and that's just thrown out the window, and it's very sad. But that's where we are today. And since extreme measures are usually given in extreme times, and I think that a company saying that I'm worried about my profits, they're worried about other criminal activity out there that I want to protect. I say if you're that worried about them, then you just do business with them only, and quit doing business in our country if that's the case, because we should not be protecting any corporation who refuse to give information that can help save American lives.
Well, we had one candidate, Doc, that said that if you kill an American citizen, or if you and you from another country, that he'd go get you, your family, I guess your family to be, your cousins and anything that got any bloodline, he gonna stop your whole bloodline. Do you think that's fair?
You know we're already do that, right? You do know. It's like you do know we already do that, right? Do you realize when we killed Saddam and we so-called didn't kill Libya president, his sons?
Well, we killed Saddam and his sons, right? Yeah, exactly.
So even though the laws say you don't do that, and even though the candidate said he would do that, I'm thinking that boat already sailed.
And but I'm saying that the crime of the father shouldn't have to be inherited.
The Bible even addressed that. You got you're going wait.
All right, come on and tell me.
I'm just saying that didn't the Bible say something about the
son
crime for the sins of the father?
Right. Well, we definitely suffer from that, because even in the sense of what we were saying, that one person may get rich, but the society is going to suffer from the act that's taken away from the public. I think we got to sit down.
That's doing that happening too. You know that, right? That politician goes to office poor,
right, and they come back
go
rich.
To Washington poor,
you're right.
Work $100,000.
Yeah.
Now they got $20 million.
$20 million.
Ain't told damn joke. Ain't wrote damn book.
Right. Exactly.
We got $20 million, and the society is suffering.
Well, that's where we, the people, have to begin to take a stand. We elect these people, and unfortunately, we too many times elect people that does not represent our best interests. But America's politics has become a popularity contest.
Well,
if you know somebody, they can destroy the whole community, the whole city, but just because you went to school with them, or they were some other friend of yours, you will put them in office knowing. Now that's where we get away from our responsibilities.
Well, the state of Alabama, when the Democrats were running things, we had the little bingo trial. Now we have this RX Ally trial with the current administration, Republican administration. And now I was up there a couple of days ago, and there's another case brewing. So they expect to have another a major hurdle coming up soon. Be pretty soon on the news channel near you. Talking about another incident that's going to happen. That's happening in Montgomery. That's brewing right now. So I don't know if they'll be able to keep a lid on it. But what happens is you keep putting people. If you put a homeless person on the deacon board and you give him the job of taking up the offering, he's hungry. He needs stuff for his house. He needs stuff for himself, and you put him over the offering plate. Chances are, offering plate may come up a little short. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
And if you do the same thing in politics,
Uh-huh.
chances are you ain't get a little sticky.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying. So you got to pay attention. You got to have the intellectual constituency, because people get the legislators or the politicians or the judges or the whomever they elect.
Mhm.
They get who they deserve.
Well,
Because they got to pay attention to who they're pulling the lever for presidency over everybody. I mean, we can't fuss about a president's policy when we don't go vote.
right.
And then those who go vote for somebody that you know is right for your community, your situation, not because James said so or Henry said so.
Right.
What do you say? What research have you done
Right.
to know this person is right for you? Be Republican or Democrat?
Well, you know, in the education process and sending our children to school, they have what they call a grading system. In the middle school and high school, I know they use a grading system: A, B, C, D, and E. And I think some people still use the F. What that they use.
I had F when I was good. I had F.
That was doing fine.
E was excellent. And,
he was doing doing fine.
F was no. You doing fine. You get home.
D's and F's.
To the parents get a whole day.
But the reason I say this, Doc, is because just like we grade our students when they're going to school,
Wow.
then I believe we have to have a grading system for our politicians.
Amen.
So, and that will take some of the things away from whether we just like them, because they could be a likable person, but they could be flunking English. They could be flunking math. They can be flunking the things that we sent them there to do. And we still just like them, so we send them back to do nothing again.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but see, it goes better than that. Why send someone to Montgomery or Washington or Mobile County and then see what they do? Why not look at their past as what they've done for the community? I mean, first of all, can the person afford to sacrifice to serve?
Mm-hmm.
Now, some jobs in Mobile County are full-time jobs, so a person can actually make a career out of doing a political job. But politics is not supposed to be a career type job. It's supposed to be a place to go serve
Right.
and to get out and go back and do what you were doing to make your living.
Right.
And if you couldn't afford to get away from what you're doing to make a living to serve,
Mm-hmm.
to lose money, then how do you justify applying for that position, if you would?
Well, as you said before, you just don't put a hungry man over the buffet, is my example, and expect him not to eat. Matter of fact, not only expect him, but tell him, oh, you better not eat, and then you come back and you wonder why you missing some food off of the buffet.
And now, when I worked at Shoney's buffet, I think I kept getting fired because I kept nibbling as I was putting that food.
There's a temptation there, and if you got a hungry person, then the temptation is even greater.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we talk about the different areas, like the spirituality or the moral area on the program, because we have to instill that morality into the human being so he can understand why he should or should not do some of the things that he do. How it may not hurt him as an individual, he may get away, but it will hurt the society and the community.
To be care for your community, and you know you can't afford to give up to go serve, then why put yourself in that position? Because you know you got to steal to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do something illegal to stay there. You got to either get, you got somewhere you got to get benefit that you took from someone else, that you took illegally to stay and play. And anytime you're in that position, you need to do the honorable thing and step aside and say, look, I just can't afford to do this. My business won't allow it.
Well, you know, we had recent cases here in this state with mayors and others that have gone to prison for just the same topics that we're talking about. County commissioners. Matter of fact, we even had cases here in our local city, Mobile, where we had the commissioners that was in the position and that they were supposed to be protecting the citizens of. They begin to be victimized by it, by succumbing to these type of things that we're talking about.
Birmingham mayor.
Mm-hmm.
But we got, I guess we got the Republicans and the Democrats, which the lines are so blurred that it's frustrating. And then you got the new Labor Party, which ain't came out yet. That's going to be in 2017. 2020. Down the road, there'll be a new party, and hopefully and then get some clarity. Say, look, this is for laborers. If you want to confuse it, if you want to put big money in it, it ain't for you.
Right. Doc, on that, I know when you say Labor Party, we used to have a Green Party that was pretty popular. It was a third party that it never was in the running to be elected, but they were there to make some important points for
we need only points though. Instead of the Green Party, the Tea Party, and all these little side parties, we need a main party that's see, the republic, a democracy and a republic are interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
The United States of America is a republic.
Mm-hmm.
The United States of America is a democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you have those two words that can be changed together,
Right.
put together to make because nowadays to go into a Democratic fundraiser, to get the candidate here may cost $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
But to go to a Republican fundraiser, it may cost $500 a plate. So it's like where all this money come from that got into politics? Why can't I just go out and meet the candidate like the good old days,
Mm-hmm.
where you go to a rally and meet the candidate? And some people can, but usually those who can weren't the ones that paid the sponsorship level to get the person to drop through the town in the first place.
And that's why I guess politics for what we're talking about now has got a bad rap, as they say, because of the corruption that we have put. Politics, by definition, is not corrupt, but people have made politics and politicians corrupt.
People being asleep, people
electing
while sleepwalking.
Right.
You go in that booth and you're sleepwalking, and you're just pushing,
Right.
blindly pushing something, or somebody give you a piece of paper and you pushing something off a piece of paper
Mhm.
that you have no connection to. Only thing you like is I like the yellow ballot sheet.
Mhm.
I like the blue ballot sheet. So whatever they say, I'm going to vote for. You got a problem,
Right.
and you're a part of the problem because
Mhm.
your blind vote is what's causing corruption in the system. Don't blame the crook for being a crook.
Mhm.
Blame the person for putting the crook in office.
Right. I never met a thief that thought they were going to get caught when they were stealing. They don't steal, say, oh, I'm going to steal this just so I can get caught when I walk out the door. It's the after effect of what they've done that they realize, oh, now I'm caught. I wished I had never taken it. And it's too late at that time. That's why morality and all of that has to be a part of human life.
Yes, sir.
So we've been having a great time talking about this politics, and I hope we've been bringing it from another perspective. Doc, there's so much more that we can cover on this subject there, because we hadn't even got into really candidates and anything, but we're talking about process.
Yeah, that's probably a
And
good
the
thing.
process is the most important, because we, as I've said many times, that our condition shouldn't be relegated to who get into office.
Right.
If President Obama win, then we're gonna be this. If President somebody else, then we're gonna be bad off. That is not the purpose, even of presidential politics.
Right.
We should have people that see our way and that may the best candidate win. But the main responsibility, it starts with the individual. It shouldn't stop there, but it starts with the individual, then the family, then the neighborhood, and then the community, which I've said so many times. If I got the best family in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood is going down, every time they look at the neighborhood, they rank me right with the others. So it can't stop. If I'm living in a neighborhood and the neighborhood get a good reputation, even if I ain't quite up to par individual, I'll enjoy the better reputation of that neighborhood.
Amen to that. We can agree.
So we have to fight for the whole. And that's what I'm saying it's going to take. And I've been saying that good people, and we got a lot of good people in Mobile, but for some reason the fear factor comes over good people. I've never seen so many good people talk about how afraid they are in my life until I hear some of the good people here in Mobile. They just think the bad people has taken over the world.
Well,
and they don't have to be.
Well, and I think we got to take stock or take ownership of the fact that if you feel the bad people is taking over, if you feel there's too many people losing their homes, there's too many people going through these other crises, take stock as to what have you done to not let it be that way. What have you done? And that's why I say you need to know why and who you vote for. Know Republican or Democrat. Look at the pros and the cons, and have a good conversation with yourself or with your loved ones, so you know why this person, why a Trump, why a Cruz, why a Hillary, or why a Sanders. So you got to have some kind of measuring stick besides someone else's measuring stick, because their measuring stick may have other benefits involved in it that's for them only and not necessarily for our community. So we need to look at the community and see who's best for the community when it comes to choosing our president in any political position. We don't get low information voters. We don't need much information to make up our minds. We need the Reverend over there to say, hey, I like John. All of a sudden I like John because the Reverend likes John. That's low information. I didn't get no information.
Right, yeah.
That's low information.
Well, we need to, as you say, we need to have a report card, I do believe, and we need to look at if you have not done before, then you can't expect a person to do after, unless a significant, I do believe, in significant emotional events that can change a person. So even though a person may have been less than desirable, there is hope for that person, but first they have to make a change or a significant
people
emotional
can change, because Congressman Bradley Byrne, who's a Republican, was a Democrat. Congressman Sonny Callahan was a Democrat and he went to Republican. President Ronald Reagan was a Democrat and he went to Republican. So you're right, significant emotional events makes people change, or for whatever reason people change, and I think that's what you got to look at when you're talking about and thinking about these elections.
Well, Doc, I think again we've had an interesting conversation, and we've been glad to be here with you, and we appreciate you listening and seeing our being here with us here on this program here. They just put something in front of my face, and I was trying to do that. But we're gonna break right here because I believe we about out of time, aren't we? Here, when you're having fun, time go by fast. So we will see you next week.
Register to win a turkey fryer when you file your returns. Get your money back fast now with H&H.